Hi everyone, Happy New Year. I thought I would come on and share with you my December journal from this year. I have to say, I really struggled with deciding whether I was actually going to do this year again. This will be my, let me just count my journals here. I think it's my 8th year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My 9th year doing a December journal. And again this year, like most of us, things were canceled. So there wasn't really a lot going on. And I really struggled. I originally in the summer, I bought this pattern, and I was going to do a journal out of this pattern. And I just really couldn't make myself use it when things kind of got canceled, and so then I really struggled deciding what I wanted to do. I had also found this great hanky that I thought I might turn into a journal. Decided not to do that. Then I decided maybe I should use this cookbook. Now, I have my mother's cookbook. It's the same as this, and I was able to find this one in great shape on Etsy a couple of years ago, and I thought, what a great use of this, because I do, and you'll see I have used some of the recipe pages throughout this journal, but I thought, that's pretty big, and if there's not much going on, so then I struggled. Then after all of that, I decided, you know what, I'm just not even going to do it this year. But this is the 9th year, and I just thought it's kind of my annual tradition. So then I went back to, well, what could I use then? And then I came across an apron that my mom had. This is a Christmas apron, and it's from the 50s. It's from the mid 50s. My mom and dad were married in 1956, so this is very vintage. And it was just sitting in a drawer. So I thought, well, it's hard to cut up, but maybe that's what I'll do. And I have to say, as soon as I did that and created the cover for this, I was completely inspired. So all I did, it's very thin. I don't know if you can see how thin the fabric is. But all I do is when I'm doing a fabric journal like this, I adhere them to cardstock. And for this one, I've just used Michael's 65-pound cardstock. I adhere it with this Elmer's Extreme Glue Stick. This works fabulously. You do have to make sure that you cover kind of entirely the paper before you put the fabric on, or you will get a few bumps. But once you can figure that out, it really is beautiful. And then all I did was stitch it twice with some red thread around the edge. And I really love this because I love kind of the mid-century kind of really clear red. It's not orangey. I'm not sure you're seeing the full color through the lens here, but it's a beautiful clear red, and I just love that for Christmas. So that's kind of my journey to deciding what I actually was going to do this year and if I was going to do it this year. So inspired I made this just a tassel out of some bits and pieces to match. I've added a few beads and some tinsel ribbon and some of this gingham ribbon as well. So just a really simple closure, of course. I'm going to take this off so it doesn't get in the way. And let me take you inside. So I used just a variety of paper. I did a lot of digital printing for this journal, and as you can see, lots on the edges. I love that look. I don't have a pocket on the inside. I haven't decided if I'm going to. I may scan this hanky and use a corner of it for a pocket, because I still haven't kind of done my why am I doing this journal yet. This is a December calendar. I always like to add my December calendar. You'll see that there's nothing written on it because there was really literally nothing going on, sadly, again this year. But then I just went through and really decided that I wanted to, just in keeping with the apron that I used for the cover, I really wanted to use a lot of vintage things, whether they were digital or whether they were authentic. So in this pocket, gosh, I clearly glued something down there. This is a piece of ephemera that I had just in my stash, so I've added that. And we have a Santa that looks like this. It's from, again, the mid-50s, and I think my brother has it and still uses it. It's kind of a scary looking Santa, but it's fun to keep out. I saw Christina Betts had this in her journal, so I sourced this and added this to the first pocket, how to make your house smell like Christmas. And then I had this vintage Christmas card, and I've just done a little bit of journaling on that. Here I've added one of the Betty Crocker recipe cards. I didn't want to cover the back, so I have just adhered it with some tape here to this this envelope. And this is a printable from the paper basket. Katie has that in her shop. And so because there wasn't a lot going on, I had also seen Meg Journal's prompt list for December. And so this also inspired me. Some of these things really spoke to me. So favorite festive foods, Christmas memory photos, Christmas quote, Christmas playlist, you know, favorite movies, that kind of thing. So this is really what I used throughout this journal to add some things for the year. So on the back, I've just done a little pocket from, it's just a little library pocket that I've added some washi tape to. And I made this fabric tag, and this is a printable from Paper Pippi, and I've just done some gift journaling on the back, added this tag with a copy or a photo of the wrapped presents. This is a printable, and if I can find it, I will mention the shop below. I can't remember which shop I got this great wrapping paper printable from, but I will note it. And I just wanted to say this is an authentic milk bottle cap that I have just made into a clip so that this all kind of clips together. I've added a little bit of vintage fabric to the edge here, a little bit of journaling about kind of presents, and this is from Paper Pippi as well. This is a tag that I made. Paula Cheney is, I think, one of Tim Holtz's design team members, and I had seen this very tag in his Christmas posts and so on from a couple of years ago, and I realized I have the same stamp set, so I really wanted to try it, and I love the way it turned out, so I just added a little bit of fibers to the top and did a little bit of journaling about that on the back. So this is a printable plaid paper, and I had printed it fairly narrow, so I've added some trim to the side. Here is my Christmas playlist. So I just kind of took snapshots of kind of what I have on my phone, and I've added them here. So these are my kind of must listen to songs for the season. Another printable here, I've added a little sale price tag here with just a few words on it. I've added a ruffle here. I have the original of this, and I just scanned it to add in. I've left it open for a pocket. I don't have anything in it. And then I've added some recipe pages from that Betty Crocker cookbook that I showed you, and I've added some very specific ones. So the shortbread, my grandmother was Scottish, and it's not Christmas without Nanny's Scottish shortbread, so I have a little bit more on that a little bit later on, but I thought this was a fun page to include. And I don't have things on every page, I just like kind of the vintage feel of this. This is another printable gift wrap. This is from, I think, Pink Paper Peppermints, one of her Christmas collections. Some great kind of tassel and tinsel trim there. That's just from Michael's. Here I've just added kind of the movies that I ended up watching, Christmas movies for this year. Again, this is Pink Paper Peppermints, and I've added these images because there's this, the fruitcake recipe here. Just some, vintage trims and so on. Here I've got a couple of printables. This is an envelope. I don't have anything in the envelope. This is from, I think, GT Designs. She had this great vintage December calendar, and I always like to include that in my December journals. Another of the Make Journals prompts was, let me see, favorite festive foods. And so what I did here, this is some vintage wrapping paper, so I've created this little pocket, and then I've just added in just a little bit of journaling, just kind of a list of kind of our usual things that we like to make over the holidays. And then I just scanned the recipes, and these are, in my mom's handwriting, and so really nice to have. This is from that Betty Crocker cookbook, Molasses Crinkles, always a favorite. And then on this side, I just took some printables, actually. I think they're from, I believe these are from Paper Pippi from this year. And I just added them to the background, and then I just layered over some photos of the cookies. Just a little tag here that I've added to this little bit of vintage lace. Here is another prompt from Meg Journals. So this is how I decorated this year. So the tree and the fireplace, and just a little bit about that. On this side, I have this tag. I think I got this from the Paper Basket a couple of years ago. And I journaled on this about a donation that I made to one of our local shelters, animal shelters. So that's why I've got this Tim Holtz ephemera piece of the dog. And in the pocket in the middle here, this was the thank you postcard that I got in the mail from them. I just love that. And so I really wanted to make sure I kept that in this journal. Another little vintage eggnog bottle cap there that I've made into a paper clip. This is a vintage piece that I got, I think, last year from Wishes and Weeds. And you'll see here, it is the Simpsons Christmas song sheet. And when I was going through university, I worked for Simpsons. So this is, again, a little bit of a nostalgic piece for me. This is just a printable that I had, just talking a little bit about, I was going to, make shortbread with my sister-in-law December 19th, and we decided to cancel just because of, everything that's going on. So that was that little note there. This is the prompt for photos of Christmas memories. So in between these two pages, I just tipped in this bag. I still have to do a little bit of journaling about these. But these are just a few pictures. My dad was a photographer, and so we have just a ton of pictures from when we were kids. So these are just a few of the Christmas pictures. Every year at Christmas, on Christmas Eve, we would have a picture taken, my brothers and I, and the dog, of course, in front of the Christmas tree. And so that's just kind of a fun reminder of that. And then the other thing that I ran across were pictures of my mom and dad's first Christmas together. This would have been December 1956. So I wanted to add those for some fun memories. This is a printable from Little Bindy, and so I'll probably do a little bit of journaling there as well. And I've used this image before. I just love that image. So those are my Christmas memory photos. A few more here, just some family back when my older brother was very young, just family on Christmas Day. Another picture. This is my favorite picture. I think of my brothers and I at Christmas, and it's really because of the sneer on my youngest brother's face in the back. It's one of those things that we always laugh at, and I just look like a kind of a little bit crazy there because I'm just so excited for Christmas. Anyway, so I found some. This is a printable as well, just some great circles of Christmas images here, and so I've just added them with a little bit of ribbon to the edge of this recipe page. One of my favorite kind of Christmas quotes here: every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings, from It's a Wonderful Life. And this is another printable from Little Bindy. This is another recipe page, the thumbprint cookies. My mom used to make thumbprint cookies as well, and so I've made a little note about that. Just a little bit, of collaging here. This is a vintage ad from one of the work basket books that I have. This is just, I took that from, I don't know, I think it was on Pinterest somewhere, so I just printed that out. Added a little ruffle here. And here is another of the Meg Journals prompts. This was movie night. So I've just kind of added a little waterfall here, just showing kind of some of the movies that I have to watch, some of my favorite Christmas movies here. Of course, all the oldies. The Grinch, of course, must watch. Rudolph, Elf, and of course Charlie Brown. And I'll probably do a little bit of journaling there. This is not fully finished, but it's pretty well done. I've just got a vintage greeting card here that I wanted to add in. Another recipe page I thought was very appropriate, talking about cranberries. And here, this is the other side of that envelope, and I've just got a little tag in there. And I was going to journal about kind of some goals for 2022. I did end up getting my Starbucks peppermint mocha, so I wanted to make sure that I added that in. And then just kind of talking about Christmas dinner. And here I've just added in a few of the cards that I got this year. This great card from Alicia Wheeler. Alicia, if you're watching, thank you so much for thinking of me over Christmas. You do make the best cards. Yeah, so that is my my December journal for this year. Very last minute. I think I made this December 19th. And so I worked on it. I just finished it last weekend, and it was fun to do. Once I finally kind of got my mojo and kind of got some of these prompts in my hands, I thought, this could be less about kind of things that are happening this year and more about some of my favorite memories, some of my favorite things to do. So that is my journal for this year. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's given you a little bit of inspiration if you're still working on yours. And I hope to be back soon. I do have, I think, a couple of projects that I'm thinking about doing for February, for Valentine's. So I hope to be back with you soon to go through that. Have a great day.